I lead the go-to-market marketing strategy at Border States Electric. Most often when somebody hears Border States Electric, they're probably thinking utility, creating power. I'm going to just do a quick context frame setup here of who we are, because I think it'll help the conversation as we go forward. I'm going to start, though, with the definition that my daughter gave to Border States Electric as she finished second grade. She came home this spring. In her notebook, she had a definition written about what Border States Electric. And at the time, my wife was an employee also, and actually is a lot longer-term employee than I was at Border States Electric. But she stated that Border States Electric helps electricians with light bulbs and cable. And if we weren't there, they wouldn't be able to do their job, do their work very well. And as a value proposition in marketing, I think she nailed it. I wish that many of our employees would understand that and be able to be that articulate. But to go broader, we're not just contractors. We are a supplier to the industrial, construction, and utility markets. So we have a variety of audiences, from contractors to large utilities to manufacturing plants. And obviously within each of those, we have a multitude of personas. And we have thousands and thousands and thousands of manufacturers of products that we sell and rep. So you can imagine, in B2B, many of you probably have many of the same challenges that we have of how do you go to market, how do you position yourself differently and separately from the competition. And really that's what I'm going to talk about today. Why did Border States kind of decide that they needed a digital strategy? How we took some learning and understanding of our audiences and the goals of the organization, built an execution framework that would allow us to be a little bit more agile and nimble. And then I'm going to give you an example of how we use that framework to execute a content strategy. Oops. So first, why a digital strategy? Competitive pressures. Who are the brands in the room? So versus agencies, vendors, pretty good mix. If you're a brand, you probably are getting competitive pressure from somewhere. If you're an agency, obviously you're getting competitive pressure. You probably weren't doing content marketing 2 or 3 years ago. So we all have pressures coming from a variety of different spots and locations. The distribution space is no different. This is a couple slides from Forrester that I think does a really good job of showcasing the threats that we face. The traditional old school model of distribution was a manufacturer produced a product, distributed it through their channel, and the customer bought from one source. Today, you have distributors that have private label products competing with manufacturers who have products. You have a distribution channel that has completely been disrupted with offline and online, a mix. You have companies like Grainger who not only are disrupting the marketplace, but they're purchasing online-only companies as well to go after a completely different audience. So the organization in 2012 realized that they needed to do something. And we set forth on developing a digital strategy. When I came in, one of the things I didn't mention on Border States, employee-owned company. And with employee-owned, we tend to be probably a little bit more of a conservative company. You have people who've been there for many, many years, very loyal. And when I came into the organization as an outsider, I actually took the opportunity to act as a consultant. It was probably the best decision that I ever made in the company, because I just sat and I listened. I listened to every part of the organization. I listened to our customers. I could have came in with my bias. I have a background in Dynamics and Salesforce CRM, Marketo, Exact Target. I could have came in and said, okay, we're going to go forward, we're going to lead with technology. But what I found as I was listening is things didn't quite fit. I couldn't put my finger on it. And this is why. So what I found in that assessment was it's a nearly $2 billion company with no CRM system. They had an outdated kind of, what do you want to call version 1.0 of a B2B e-commerce system. it was locked behind a login. No product was in the front. Google didn't know you existed. The interface was terrible. Catalog was separate from your checkout. You can about imagine, if you've been in the B2B space, you know what I'm talking about here and what we had. We didn't have a standard sales process. So we had no way marketing to deliver our sales and marketing materials, nor did sales have any way to really kind of really go to market consistently from branch to branch. In a lot of ways, our 81 branches acted independently, almost as franchises. And then you had the marketing organization. Bruce McDuffie, who's here this week, he kind of has a manifesto on B2B marketing, and he says Marketing 1.0, and his list is exactly who we were. We were termed as a marketing organization inside as an internal Kinkos, or a glorified secretarial staff. Essentially, we did what somebody told us to do. There was no positioning, there was no value proposition, there's no proactive go-to-market. And I took this information and I said, okay, if we're going to have a digital strategy, we don't have a CRM to be able to do interacting one-on-one. We don't have an e-commerce marketplace to be able to interact with one-on-one. So we got some work to do. What I learned from that, though, is that we were a sales relationship-based company. Any big Forrester fans in the room? Okay. Andy Orr has the new report out that says, the death of the B2B salesman. Andy and I have been working since 2012 on this strategy, and I'm not one who's going to take the clickbait and say that the salesperson's going to go away, because I'm in an organization where I can see the sales rep is still going to be very, very critical. Their role and the way they go to market to their customers will change, but their role will not be replaced. Technology will continue to enhance. But I also found we weren't an inbound marketing. We weren't a prospecting company. When I went out and did the persona research, I had about 5 or 6 questions that I was asking about prospecting, and I finally stopped when I realized that we were not an organization that went out and pounded the doors. We had to clean up what we call inside the box first. That was existing customers and known customers who's purchased from us in the past. So that was kind of the foundation of what we went forward with.